The basics of building, while often overlooked in favor of more flashy mechanics, is one of the most important aspects of the game and needs to be understood thoroughly. There are 4 building pieces: walls, floors, stairs, and cones. But the building grid that you place them on only has 3 types of building slots. In the XY axis, there is a wall slot every 5 meters, and then along the Z axis, there are the floor slots. But instead of every 5 meters, they're every 3.75 meters. So the grid isn't comprised of perfect cubes, but more flattened boxes. Inside each of these boxes is a center slot that can hold either a stair or a cone, but not both. In order to place builds, you first take out the building piece you want to place. This will show you a preview of exactly where your build will place. Then you press place building to actually build it. As long as you keep holding the place button, it will continue to place builds wherever you look. At first, figuring out where builds will place seems confusing, but it's actually very simple. There is an invisible line ray coming out of your camera in the direction you're looking. The build piece will first try to place as close to the end of that line as possible, but if another build piece is blocking that line, then it instead just tries to connect to that build piece however possible. For example, trying to place a cone down here is fine until it's blocked by a floor. Then it just places the cone on the floor instead. As far as which direction the build will place, all that matters is your cardinal direction. Whichever direction you're closest to looking will be the direction the build places. So if you're looking between 45 and 135, it will place facing east. Between 135 and 225 is south, etc. It doesn't matter where the line is or if it's blocked, just whatever direction you're facing is the direction the build places. Now the first thing you should learn to build is a box to protect yourself. It's both simple to learn and the most important to learn. All it requires you to do is to place 4 walls around you, and then place a floor below and above, and finally a cone on top and bottom as well. Simple in theory, but depending on where you're standing on the building grid, you have to make minor changes. The first thing to keep in mind is to try and spin to the left instead of to the right when placing the walls. If you're not directly in the center of a grid tile, then when you spin to the right, you're more likely to place a bunch of walls in the wrong place than when you spin to the left. But even when you spin to the left, if you're perfectly between 2 tiles, then you'll still place walls further than you meant to. So when you're perfectly between 2 tiles, you have to look straight down before you spin. This will make that invisible line point down at your feet and therefore ensure all 4 walls place as close to you as possible. The other problem you'll run into is when you're right in the middle of a tile, the lower cone you place will trap you inside. So to fix that, jump before you place the last cone. This is the first thing you should practice. Load into this creative map, go to the free build area, and just run around building boxes everywhere until you no longer mess it up. Make sure you're not just doing it in the center of tiles, but on edges, in the corners of tiles, everywhere. You can make time go slow at first, and then speed it up slowly until you're able to do it at full speed. Once you have that down relatively well, you're ready to move on to the next video where you'll learn about the other half of building, which is editing.